Alright everyone, here's a review of the Red Wing 10877s. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so anyone that likes Red Wing boots or just outdoorsy type apparel should recognize these mock toe Red Wing boots. Now, it may not be the exact version that you remember or know, but this is what they have come to. So, looking at these, you can tell they are a 9-inch mock toe. That's what this means, a mock toe, with a wedge sole, soft wedge sole, and very standard tread pattern for a wedge sole. These are made in the USA still, and frankly, they're one of my favorite pairs of boots I own. I wear these quite often, even in the winter time here. They're not very warm in the winter time. Your feet don't get cold from the bottom, but these are just leather insides. So anyway, moving on. Let's take a look at the construction here. So, as you can see, these have a straight cut here. That is different than other models of this boot, where I believe it's more of a curved cut or a rounded cut here. That's a recent move that they made, moving away from the older models. But starting with the bottom, you have a stitched Goodyear welt here with a glued on wedge sole. Not very much traction by the looks of it, but these do grip pretty good. On ice, they're not 100%, but I find they're okay. See the Red Wing symbol here. These have about, I would say, actually I got the receipt for these. These were bought July 6th, 2021. So these have about, what was it? 7 months. 7 and a bit months of wear on them. And this is how they're looking. So we have the stitched sole, we got glued on, or stitched welt, glued on sole, and we got the mock toe, which has a single row of stitching around the perimeter through this way. They got triple stitching on the bottom of the uppers. We got triple stitching on this back panel. Center stitch only goes about halfway. There. Comes all the way up to a nice pull tab, which is pulled to the top. Pull tab could probably be bigger on these boots. I put my boots over top, my jeans over top of these, and I haven't found any issues with catching on this. But I would like it a little bigger for, well, I just got big hands, so being able to fit one finger in there, I prefer to fit two, or finger and a thumb. Coming back to the eyes here, we got one row of stitching for the tongue across here, and then we got single row stitching on the inside, single row stitching on the outside of the eyes. You got stitching on the tongue, which sews the tag on. You see there, made in USA, Red Wing. These are 11Ds, 10877s. Ooh, shaky table. And I think they're really, really good boots. They're obviously dirty right now. I thought, well, I was gonna clean them up, but I thought that guys might like to see what they look like in their everyday state. I actually have a second pair right over here that I am going to show you as well. So this is the right boot, and this is a left boot. So this is a weird comparison. This is a 11 double E, and this is an 11D. So how did I come about this? Well, I bought these boots originally. Oh, actually, more than that. I went into the Red Wing store and was looking for these boots, and they had this pair in. And I put them on, and when I tightened them up, You guys may have had this problem before if you got standard width feet, which sometimes you gotta order standard, and I find double E's or E's are way more common. But I tied them up, and the laces, the entire length of the boot, did that. Or they were pretty close to that, maybe half an inch, something like that. And the guy said, well, yeah, I'm usually a D, but I went with a double E on mine because this, and this. I've been wearing them a year, and oh, they still fit great. Never listen to anyone about your own feet. That's something I learned from a guy that used to run the Red Wing store here. I was in there getting my first pair of Red Wings. My dad and I went down there. And face-to-face camera. Sitting there yammering without seeing my face. Well, I'll pull this up a little bit. My nice background. So I was in there, this Red Wing store, and the guy that owned it, he's an old guy. He's like 60s, mid to late 60s probably. Big beard. And I was in there getting fitted for a pair of the 833s, whatever the standard CSA boot in Canada here is. I stepped on the machine and looked at it and whatnot. It was brand new there, so they thought they'd try it out. And so I was sitting there lacing up boots, and I had E's and double E's and D's and 11s or whatever they were. And this guy comes in the store with, typical guy, hoodie, baggy t-shirt, baggy jeans, really terrible boots. And he walks in and he says, I'm looking for a pair of boots. And the guy says, well, come back when you know what you want. And he says, well, I want a pair of boots. He says, well, we got lots of boots. I'm not going to tell you what you want. You can come back and tell me what you want. And that really stuck with me because nobody has your feet. Only one person can feel your feet, and that's you. So if you go into a store expecting the person to tell you what you need, that's not how you should run. And that old guy knew that. He knew that if I sell this guy a pair of boots and they don't fit him well and he doesn't like them, that's going to reflect poorly on him. Whereas if he says to that guy, go do your research, look up what you need, he might end up going to Walmart and buying a pair of Dakotas that hurt his feet 8 hours a day. Or he might do his research and figure out that something closer to this, a steel toe, of course, for construction in Canada, is what he wants. He doesn't want sore feet 8 hours a day. Some people buy Dakotas and they don't have sore feet. Some people do. I was one of those persons. I had my Dakotas for about a month and a half. And then I went to the Red Wing store. So, lesson learned, but $60 less than a lot of guys make. But anyway, so that kind of stuck with me, that guy saying, well, I'm not going to sell you a pair of boots unless you tell me what boots you want. That's funny, but anyway, I walked in and that guy told me, this is the pair of boots that I got. I'm usually a D. I got the double E's and they fit perfect every single day. Well, he had his boots on and he had them laced down to about this eye. And they're just all loose like this, crumpled up. And that's how he wore his boots. And that should have been my hint that, maybe this guy doesn't know what I really need because he doesn't wear his boots like I'm going to wear them. I lace these up almost every single time I wear them. So they need to be secure because I got terrible ankles. So anyway, I went home with these boots. And I wore these for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And I was like, man, these boots are just not doing it. Like, eventually I laced them up and they're just tight, right tight. You couldn't lace them up any tighter unless you cut out some of that lacing, bro. So I went back to the store and I was like, man, can I get some insoles? Like, the guy, I came in to buy a pair of 11 Ds. He sold me 11 double E's because he recommended them. I fell for it, I guess, or whatever, and he stopped me right there. He says, you need insoles to make your boots fit? I'm like, yeah, look, and I pulled my pants up, and you can see these are right tight together. And he said, we never should have sold you those boots. I'm sorry about that. And he took these into the back, and he brought out this pair. Obviously, things happened. Put this pair on, tightened them. They never got tighter than about this far apart, right out of the store. And I said, okay, I'll take those. I dug out my wallet to pay for this pair of boots, and had these, and I was gonna trade them up. He said, no, I'm not gonna take your money for those boots. That's what we should have sold you all along. And I said, oh, well, oh, thank you very much. That's kind of service I kind of expect from some of these smaller stores. It was a Red Wing store, obviously, but the guy knowing that kind of got a poor suggestion, I'll say. But so he let me keep this pair of boots and walk out with them. I was just about to leave. He said, you know, if you know anyone that needs a pair, we can't sell these boots now that they've been returned. Know anyone that needs a pair of boots like this? And I said, well, I don't right now, but I might in the future, so I'll take them. So I took this pair of boots home too. So that's how I ended up with 2 pairs of the 10 877s. Oh, these are called their crepe soles. Sorry, I call them wedge soles, but they call them crepe soles. So brand new, these boots are $359.99. And I got 2 for the price of 1, so that ended up being a pretty good deal. I got some really thick socks, and sometimes if I got really thick socks, I'll slip these on. But I'm still looking for somebody to send some 11 double E's to, so maybe I'll have a giveaway in the future. But anyway, back to the boots themselves. I got segued with that story there, but these I do not need soles. So in these boots, you have a unremovable leather sole, and of course it came with these yellow laces. And I'm kind of persnickety about my lacing. Do this again. Where's my lace here? Try to take some slack out for you guys here. Try to take some lace out here. Just try to clean them up for you. But anyway, I'm particular about my lacing for some reason. It's just because I always overtied my boots. I still overtie my boots all the time. And by overtie, I mean when I tighten them down for the day. Usually when I lace up my boots, I'm lacing them up for 8-10 hours at a time. I really like secure laces. I don't like taking my boots off. My mother-in-law can attest to that. Their house is a construction site right now, so luckily I can walk in there with my boots on and be like, oh, there might be a nail. But disrespectful, you whippersnapper. Anyway, so I'm particular about my laces because I don't like them slipping, and I like my foot being secure top to bottom without being too tight that your foot gets the fuzzies after a while, because I really hate that feeling. So one of the things I do is I switched out to leather laces, number one, because they're a bit more supple. They grab the eyelets a bit better. And then the other thing I do is I always go over and under. I got these nice and neatly tied. I don't want to undo them, but I'll show you with these. Actually, I'll show you with these because it might demonstrate my point quite well. So you see the width difference between a D and a double E. It's about half an inch maybe difference. Feels like a lot more, but so you can see these. Oh, I lace these too, but they might not. So when you pull them tight, see they're tight. When you let go, see that relaxation there? So imagine your foot's inside of there. I'll stuff a t-shirt inside of this. If you didn't notice in the background, I got my Halloween costume. Almost my Halloween costume. I didn't wear these pants. But lo and behold, if you look at the bottom of the pants, woo! Man, there's crop pests all over the place here. If you look at the bottom here, those laces look pretty familiar. So when these guys got their laces taken away, to replace them with the leather ones, they ended up going in my pants because those cotton laces were giving up the ghost. So I got this rag stuffed in there like your foot's in there. just to push on it a bit. So if you look here, when you pull these tight, when I let go, watch right in here. See that relaxation there? So if you tighten it right down, it relaxes. And then you move up to do your next knot. And you tighten it right down, and it relaxes. And you move up to your next spot, and you tighten it right down, and it relaxes. And you do that all the way from top to bottom. And you get all the way to the top, and you realize, oh, my boot's not that tight down there. So you get to go all the way back down, loosening, so you have enough to grab. And you can do it all again. Well, with leather laces, boots galore here. And lacing them top down, a lot of guys go over, up, over, up. I like to go over, down, over, down. That way, when you're tightening your boot, your laces are actually locking themselves in. Okay. So when you do this with leather laces, you pull them right tight, and they don't nearly relax as much. And you do that all the way to the top, and you realize far more. And I'm yet to try this on a heavy pair of boots, like a pair of Nicks or something like that. That's a wish list boot there. I got another pair of boots in the mail, just waiting to get some love and video time here. Got lots of stuff to do, but just haven't gotten around to it. Sorry, you guys. Not a very good uploader, but you can see that those laces stay nice and tight, whereas these ones, you end up with that sponginess in here, even with that sock in there. Okay. And they lock themselves in because they have give, whereas these really stiff Red Wing laces like to slip back. Now, of course, it's not a big deal if you don't care. This is the box they come in a nice Red Wing box. Get a piece of paper to divide them. You got the legendary brands on one side, and then over here you got the tradition of quality and care steps for your boots. Always clean off extra dirt. Well, I didn't do any of that for the video, but I go on to say about the quality of their boots. But good job to the Red Wing store I went to for treating me right, eh? And a nice shout out on YouTube. These are the 10877 Red Wings. One of my favorite pairs of soft toe boots. Till later, you guys. Have a great night and day. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day.